follow the wires. This is not the preferred method of trying to jumpstart one of your 16850 batteries, or whatever the heck the thing is called. I think it's a 16850 or whatever. It's a 3400 milliamp battery that goes in my favorite flashlight, which somehow this got left on. And, well, I think it probably got left on for like months. This is definitely not the right way to do it, so I've got one of my Zop Pop Void Packs sitting on a kind of a fireproof platform right now. Fireproof just in case, because you never know, guy, right? Anyways, this is not the preferred method to do it, but it is taking a charge. We're looking at 3.79 volts or 8.1, and we are pumping 7 volts into that pack, so we'll see what happens. You can see we've got a little bit of a current thing here. It's actually charging at 9.4 amps, so yeah, I don't know, whatever. So anyways, today on RC Guy Garage, we've got the Team KRONOS sitting on the floor, and the whole purpose of this episode is to basically crack this thing open. So we did an unboxing yesterday, and I've got to say, you know, it's that give and take. Team KRONOS, like I said, it was always just kind of something that just kind of missed the mark for me. And this particular vehicle right here, this KRONOS XTR, this is my first dive into a Team KRONOS vehicle. And like I had mentioned before, part support, stuff like that. But people have been reassuring me that there is part support for this vehicle fairly close, like I guess PA, Florida, Virginia, Idaho, wherever the parts are, I guess they are here. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue. But anyways, this episode is about taking that Team KRONOS XTR. Before I even electrify it, I think you already know what motor's going in it. You already know what ESC is going in it. It's going to happen. So yeah. Where are we? We're cracking open the differentials, front, center, and rear, based upon my experience. What kind of shock oil is in those shocks? I'm assuming it's got to be the same front to back. I didn't hear any air inside the shocks when I did compress them. I did hear the springs kind of like rubbing against the shocks. I believe I heard some kind of something like that. But as far as the differentials go, I have no idea. And also, the instruction manual, the instruction manual, right here, I did not crack that thing open, so I don't even know what I'm looking at as far as pulling this thing apart. But if you're interested in this episode from RC Guy Garage, we're going to take the KRONOS XTR roller, and from Team KRONOS, and we're going to rip it apart. We're going to take those diffs apart, we're going to see what's inside. Alright, well, we're going to try this again. Usually do my GoPro on. What it does is it gives that 3 words that I can match up on the timeline. So here's what we got. See that right there? I got the KRONOS going on one GoPro, and then I've got obviously this face cam. I can't show you like how this is set up, but anyways, the whole point of this video is breaking into the KRONOS XTR roller. I do have my tray for screws, and we're just gonna hopefully just break into this thing. So gonna put this device over here so I can hopefully monitor things. All right, here we go. So we don't need the cover for now. I do have that LiPo battery now not charged. Well, it's not charging. It's now charging that little Nikkor battery pack, and I hope it works. It seems like it's getting pretty close. All right, so taking off the, we're gonna go after the we're gonna go after the rear differential first. I'm not gonna mess with the center. So yeah, let's just flip this thing upside down and see what we got. So it looks like I'll be taking off this skid plate that's right here. So we're going to take that off first. I am going to use my driver, so if you get sensitive ears, just watch out. So it looks like it's 5 screws. it's already releasing. So does that mean like the whole diff is coming out? Wait a minute, so do I even need to do that? Now I'm kind of wondering. I wonder if I can just take off that back cover. Never taken one of these apart. I'm unsure. So I'm just going to take that off for now and see if that's what was necessary to take off. Might not be. This could be a built-in disaster already. And that one's not coming out. So that must be nutted. Kind of almost looks like I might not even have to take it out. Does it swing out of the way? It might swing out of the way. Wouldn't that be funny? It swings out of the way. It does. What? Okay. Swings out of the way, but I don't know if I had to take that off or not. Alright. Let's go flip this the other way. Oh no! Oh no! Losing parts. Those little washer things. Alright. Oop! I'm back. Alright. So, man, it almost looks like there's the possibility that I only had to take out 2 of those screws. So I'm gonna get the wing. I'm gonna get the wing out of the way, just to see what I can see here. Alright, so I did remove that kind of piece out of there. Now, jeez, that wing is so like, that wing is like massively integrated. So it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, I think, pull that wing off. You know what? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off that little, I'm going to pull off this little pin block thing here. Let's go see what's going on behind this. I should face this over this way a little bit more, because that way I can stay framed. Should be using my red tray. So it's definitely more like a bar. I think I might want to tire. You know what? I used the pieces of foam that this thing came with. Kind of keep this thing elevated, maybe. That'll work. So there was a shim on one of the arms. So it just comes with this solid metal straight stock bar. And it does say RR on it. I don't know why it says RR. Could just stand for rear. something like that. Definitely seems more basic kind of sort of. Now there is a sway bar that I'm gonna see if I can take off or something. Couple of screws for that. Ah, it swings down. Okay. And then sway bar doesn't really kind of get out of the way. So there are collets. So I'm going to release one of these collets. See if I can just kind of move the sway bar out of the way like that. Okay. So now I'm going to go after the 2 screws that are in there. I'm not sure. I think just the 2 back screws underneath probably would get to that differential cover, I'm thinking. Again, like I said, never taken one of these things apart before. Just kind of basing it upon what I think my eyes are seeing. Probably should put those other 2 screws back in, but I'm going to leave it for now. So let's see if this little cover comes off. Ah, it does. Okay. But it doesn't. So, seems like it might be captured. Is it captured by the wing? Oh, it just pulls right off. Never mind. Came right off. And it is those 2 screws that are on the bottom. So the 2 screws that are down on the bottom do get to that. As far as diff grease, man, there's nothing in there. I'll show you. So as far as diff grease, there really is nothing in there. So I guess it's a good thing that I'm taking this thing apart. So yeah, that's like pretty much nothing, man. So you see we got a couple of shims on there. So I'm going to pop this differential out. I only did need to take out the 2 back screws that go into the shock towel brace. And obviously the 2 screws, well, did I need to take off that pin? See, that's the only thing. I'm not sure if I had to take that pin off or not, so whatever. All right, so no grease. All right. So I am going to go ahead and grab my, I'm going to grab my grease. I'm going to pop that differential out, get a look at it. I'm going to break it out. I'm going to break open inside of it to see what kind of lubrication's in there. And I'm going to grab my ceramic grease that I always use. Be right back. So now this is the stuff right here that I use. This is a product from Permatex. It's a ceramic extreme brake parts lubricant, and I'm using the purple now because the purple itself, it's a very slightly seems like stickier kind of grease, slightly. The orange stuff that I usually use, and what it is this stuff is it's designed for a lower temperature. So yeah, I think a lower temperature. Yeah, sounds about right. So this is the stuff that I'm going to use. This is, you can see that this stuff right here, it's a nice purple. So I think it's fitting. Looks like the grease that they've got in there is some kind of a blue. So I am going to pop this out. It's so loosely in there. And you know what? The wing's in the way from getting that out of there. I think. Maybe if I cock it to the side. Alright, so it looks like it can come out. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I think, yeah. It'll come out. So the differential does come out. You can see that there's really little to no grease on there. So yeah, good thing, like I said, good thing that I'm pulling this apart. It does have appears like a shim, and the shims won't come out. The shims won't come off because the ends have a flare to them. So it is a spiral cut. The gear itself, the gear looks like it's a pretty good, looks like it's a nice looking gear. So we're going to pull this apart right now. 4 screws. Grab some paper towels. All right. So 1.5, I'm going to clean it off first. Like I said, that was little to no grease, man. Differential's definitely going to be happy now once I put some real grease in it. So, all right. All right. So crack this open. See what we're looking at here. And I want to say, man, all right, well, I could use more grease. So I am going to go ahead and throw a little extra grease in there. So this is the funny thing about when you talk about differentials, right? So obviously you can clearly see that when the differential is spinning to the side, so when it's spinning like this, which is what it does, it slings the grease to those gears, which then kind of lubricate the rest of the other gearing and the pins and everything. A lot of people like to really fill those diffs, and I am going to fill this differential. Because I do want to say that while there is stuff in there, it's pretty minimal. So I'm going to go ahead right now, and I've got some 500K, I think. All right, so I've got 1 million, 20 million. And just for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and throw some of this 500K in there. So it definitely was pretty light on the fluid. Like I was saying, it does seem like the fluid that's in there is 100. Seems like it. So that's what I'm going to do. That's how much fluid I'm going to stick in there. It's more than what was in there. It's probably now twice the amount that was in there. And then obviously when I put it back together, I'm going to use that Silicone Extreme stuff there. So pretty happy with that. Just looks like regular gears, man. Regular gears, 1 shim. I think I'm good. So I want to make sure that these holes are lined up. So I'll take my driver, kind of poke it into the hole, make sure I'm lined up. Looks good. And it's a 2.0, not a 1.5 guy. All right. Seemed like it was 100. So I think that driver bit's pretty much done. So I'm just going to do my cross pattern, torque it down, and then I'll just do each one and give it a tweak. All right. Shims on that side. I'm going to go ahead and stuff some of that grease right inside there right now. So what I do, hopefully you can see. So I'm going to take the grease and I'm going to jam it into that hole right now. Actually, a second, I'm going to work. It's different because, like, literally the wing is in the way. And I don't want to bother taking the wing off. And I didn't have to take the wing off, so that's a good thing. But the thing is about that pin, I don't know if I had to... I think I did have to take that pin off. Because I think the pin served as like a block to block it. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws to get that thing off, it looks like. Oh, and the swing that little skid plate out of the way. You only have to take... Oh, never mind. Never mind. 4 screws to take the skid plate and swing it out of the way. It is attached by a lock nut to that carbon fiber brace. That's why that didn't release. So I'm just noticing that right now. It's a disaster, guy. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pivot this back into place, I hope. There we go. Wow, that popped in nice and easy. Okay. That actually goes in really easy. So I'm going to kick it out just so I can get the other dog bone into place. Make sure that when I put this in, that shim is definitely in place, because it's looking like it doesn't want to kind of like go back into its little slot there. See what I'm fighting with? There we go. Alright, so that's in its spot now. I'm going to take that grease and I'm going to smear it onto that differential. And I'm also going to put it on the case, like this. That should be, what do you think? Think that's sufficient? I think that's pretty sufficient now. Holy moly. Alright. See if I can slide that bad boy back into place. Seems like it wants to go down and in. It's there. Very harmless. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and just put those top screws back in. That go through that back case and into the differential housing. Just going to give it a snug. Pin back in because the pin fell out of that front. Ooh, losing the little shims here. Slide those back on. Put that back into place. Got like these like little shims right here that slide on to the arms. Then I'm going to take the metal brace. I'm going to go ahead and stick the metal brace in there. Looks like it had the lettering facing in. So I should have put this on some type of a thing. 2 longer screws now going through this piece. So I'm going to be very careful with tightening these fasteners down. I'm not saying it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with the plastic, I just want to make sure. So go ahead and re-hook up my sway bar here. Let's see, how is that done? Kind of flush. So those little collets seem to be fairly flush at the end. Maybe sticking out just a little bit. I want to say that those collet screws for the sway bar probably should put some thread lock on there. Just a thought. So now I'm going to take this little piece, swing this piece back up. Which looks like that'll lock that into place. It's got 2 small screws coming at the top. I don't know why you're seeing a Chevy hat, but that's all right. Screw down. Nice and easy. Doesn't have to be tight. And then this piece. When does that go in now? Yeah. Goes in now. Alright. Flip this bad boy back over. With these little extra red pieces, which are like a reinforcement for those screws. I like that attention to kind of like that detail. That way the screws have less of a chance of pulling through, gives it a more flatter surface area to that piece. I think that's a pretty good idea. So, looks like we got 2 long screws and 2 short screws. Uh-oh. Are they all the same? Oh, no. 2 screws were short and 2 screws were long. I'm going to go with the longer screws going forward, and the shorter screws going towards the back is the way I'm going to go. And I'm going to be careful when I dive them in. All right. Watch your ears. Might be the other way around. Yeah. I'm going to take one of the long ones and I'm going to put it towards the back and see what happens. Kinda can't tell, man. I think I'm going to go with the shorter ones up front and the longer ones to the back, maybe. Yeah, I think that's the route I'm going to go. Seems like that's the right way. Yeah, definitely is. Longer screws go towards the back, shorter screws go towards that front. That's a definite. Just going to give it a little extra torque with my hand here. That feels good. Now that lock nut one, I'm wondering if I should retighten that lock nut, but I think I'm going to leave it for now. All right. Now let's go after the front. See what I have to do for the front. I'm going to do that thing where the front looks a little different. I'm going to just try it by hand. I'm going to go after this one screw right here just to see if that is loose. What are you doing? Why did it stop? Was it hot? Still says it's recording. Connection lost. Got it. Control GoPro. Looks like it's still recording. Is it still recording? I gotta check. Repairing your file. I mean repairing my file. GoPro wants to join, yes. I said repairing my file. Alright. I don't know what the heck that was. Camera's might be getting hot. Alright, so it's back. Record. Okay, we're back. I don't know what that was. So this one is tied into that brace, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and release these ones. This time I'm going to pay attention to where the screws go. So we got long screws towards the front, which makes sense. That's how it was, like, towards the back. And shorter ones to that back section. Funny how the arms release. So can I move this out of the way? I can't. All right. So I have to see how I'm gonna have to see how that is affixed there, because I don't think. Let's see. You know what? You know what I didn't try? Maybe I should try this time. I think I might be able to take that. I'm going to try and take that off. It might only be those two screws. So I'm going to release the two screws that are right here. So there and there. So we've got one there and one there. I'll release this, which we might be onto something this time. You know, you do it a couple of times, you get used to it, I guess. So we'll take those two screws out that basically clamp onto that sway bar. We'll swing that down. I'll take the 1.5 and I'll see if I can go after one of these collars. What's going on? Camera connection lost again? Are you literally too hot? What's it doing? Well, I don't know what's going on. I think this thing's having heart failure. Alright, well anyways, whatever. Take that sway bar. This is the more important one anyway. Take that sway bar out. I'll go ahead and go after these two screws and let's see if this is the way to get into that diff. I don't know what's going on with this GoPro, man. It's got a red light now. We had trouble connecting. You don't need to see my face anymore anyway, guy. See what it's doing? It's got a solid red light. That's very odd for one of my GoPros to have an issue. So I'm going to pop the battery out. It's hot. That might be why, because it's hot. See what happens. So I got the little flash. Turn it on. I'm just going to check footage real quick. See if it recorded anything. Let's see how many we got. Yeah, it looks like it definitely recorded. Looks like it definitely recorded footage. Might be a little corrupt. I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm just going to keep this off for now because I don't know what's going on. That's the original. I don't want that. Why is that still there? Alright, whatever. I'll let this thing cool down. Alright, this one's doing fine, right? Yeah, this one doesn't feel hot. Clean that up. Alright, this will probably work better. That way it's less for me to do anyway. Alright, so we pop those two side screws. We've got the sway bar out of the way. We got the two screws going in from the underneath. And maybe that's all that's needed. So I'm going to give a pull on it. And I'm going to say that's a no. Definitely got to take that, definitely got to take this front thing off, the skid plate. Got to take the 2 screws that come out of there. They do go into that lower plate, but this pin or this brace is blocking that from coming forward, kind of like I thought. So, that's going to make this a little difficult, because I don't think I can... So it almost seems like what would be a good idea is if there were holes drilled here to pull those screws. You know that? Because bending this out of the way, I don't know if I like that. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to use a driver. Don't like bending that out of the way. Alright, get those 2 screws out of there. Then, should be able to slide this little cap off here. There we go. Little steering thing just popped out of there. Slide that out. Got this little piece out for now. Foam pad. Stick that under here just to take a little bit of weight off. There's a shim there. And this cap should pull off now. There we go. A little bit of a plastic burr on there. So that little, it's a mold burr. Little mold burr on there, that should probably come off. So I'm going to take a razor blade and I'm going to slice that off. Knife. There we go. Good. And no grease. So I think you can see that. No grease in that diff as well. Alright. So let's just pop this diff out. Doesn't look like anything blocking this one from coming out, I don't believe. Get that arm out of the way. Make sure I remember the orientation. And really no grease to speak of at all. So I'm going to clean this one off. They're using some kind of blue grease. Again, one little shim on that one side that does not come off because of the way these cups are flared at the ends. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slam some of that purple grease in there, I think, right now, if I can. To understand why I'm using this stuff is just awesome. Plus, it goes with purple, it goes with black, right? So that should be sufficient to lubricate that. I'm going to pop open or crack open this diff. And this probably also has 100K, maybe. But I'm going to put 100K in this, not 5. So what are we looking at? And we're looking at minimal. So looks like it's about the same amount that's in there. This time I am going to use 100K. I'm going to put a nice blob in there. I should see what that is, though. Let's see if I can tell. It's pretty thin. It might be 50. You'll see this is going to take forever now. There we go. Good enough. Close this back up. I'm going to lose any of this precious fluid. Oh, I'm going to leave that in there. I just want to line up my screws, man. Because I'm pretty sure when I put this back together, I twisted it. Right about there, I think. Right there. Is that it? Feels like that's it. Should you wear gloves when you're doing stuff like this? Just go around, give each one a torque. Give this thing a little twist. Feels good. All right. Reinstall that little bad boy in there. And I'm gonna move this a little bit. Trying to tell if there are shims on that back side. Doesn't seem like there are shims on the back, just a shim on the front. So this little thing's kind of a pain in the neck, man. See what happened is I got it underneath. It somehow got underneath the there we go. It's definitely an easier way to do this, man. This stupid little brace thing wasn't there. This would be a lot easier. Probably be a lot easier with the wheels off too. Yeah! The struggle. Come on, guy, get it in there. There we go. Oh my god. It does go back together, I swear. Come on. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Alright. Getting closer. Just trying to find that pin location in the back. There we go. Got it. Now, see if I can finagle this one into place without it being as much of an issue. Oh my god, it's probably not gonna go. Oh god. Here we go. There goes that little piece, little shim. I'm gonna pop that pin out of there because it's driving me nuts. If I can even get the pin. Yay. There we go. God. Get in there. All right. Oh no. Come on. For the love of God. Oh my goodness. Guy, what's going on here? What the hell? Alright. Oh my god. I'm gonna lose my mind. Hey, at least I can laugh, right? Alright, stay in there. Oh, get over there. The link is in the way. There we go. I think I got it. Yes! Alright, we got success. See, hopefully you can laugh at this channel, you know? Have a good time. Get that into place. Put the little two shim things on there. Make sure that that shim is buried into its little spot. That's one thing that I didn't check, was I didn't check the ring and pinion Feels good, actually. All right, so now get this cover back on there. And I'm going to smear just a little bit more grease in there. So I'm going to have it on the ring side, like this. That way when I put it in, it'll just smear in. And there we go. Looks like that settled right in. This stuff is awesome, man. Every ring and pinion that I've got, it's got this stuff. So I'm just going to put these screws in for now. Not going to bury them. Just going to get it down so it settles into place. Good. Now, remember to take this piece and I'll put that piece in there, but I want to get that little pin thing. So it looks like the FF front, rear does face that way. I'm going to go ahead and just slide that on. Just like that. Take my little piece here. Put that in there. Take the longer screws. Throw those in with my driver because I'm lazy. Not really lazy, but yes, I am. Give it just an additional torque. I don't like the idea that I'm pushing down on that piece. I actually don't like that, but that's all right. I'm going to take the sway bar, I'm going to reattach the sway bar into place. Swing that little thing down. Put that sway bar in there. Connect up that little collet. Rotate that collet. There is a way you can get to the little fastener that's in there. It's really tight. Go ahead and slide that in place, I hope. Set it the same as the other side, which is flush. Give it a crank. Those screws, those collet screws, are definitely going to be something that comes out. So you might want to thread lock these things. I have a feeling that those could have the possibility of coming out. Flop that back over. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to put the, flip this thing over. Put those screws back in on the bottom. Did notice that there was a little piece of plastic at that tail. You can't probably see it right now, but put these little things in there. Little plastic protector screw things. Longer screws go towards the front. Shorter screws go to the back. Sometimes if you're unsure, you just literally just go easy with the screw. So I'll get the longer one up here. Okay. Why isn't that one going in? Isn't that funny, huh? Why is that one not going into its location? That little block thing move. All right. So, for some reason, I think that little block thing. Ah! I see what happened. It got moved out of the way when I put this one in. So I gotta be careful with that. That little block thing got shifted. See what I'm saying? This little block piece. This piece got shifted. So I need to do, needs to go in this way. Gotta be more careful. Release those screws. Again, not all the way. Take this little piece here. Yeah, look at that. So it shifted. Put that in. Now, I'm going to take one of these and just guide it in through the bottom. There we go. So now at least I know it's there. Put that one in. Much better. Okay. Give it a tweak by hand. Good. 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 And mint. All right. Front and rear diff have been filled. 500K. So front and rear diffs have now been taken care of. Found out that there was really no grease inside the housing, not the actual differential, in the differential case, not the actual diff. So the diff in the back now has 500K. The diff in the front has 100K. It seemed like it did have, I want to say it probably had enough fluid in there. I mean, I know a lot of people like to top it off, but to be honest with you, with the way centrifugal force works, the grease that they put in there is probably sufficient, but I did kind of like put a little bit extra. Like I said, 500 rear, 100K in the front, and we didn't have any ring and pinion lube in there, which this is the stuff that I use right here. This is that Permatex silicone ceramic extreme brake parts lubricant. The stuff is amazing. I suggest that you do like I do and go ahead and fill up your diffs the way I do, because what it does a couple of things. It's going to help, believe it or not, seal kind of contaminants out from getting in, and it's going to lube those gears, and I think that that's pretty important. I mean, those things are spinning, man. So having that silicone ceramic stuff in there is definitely a help. So, and I've kind of proven it. So anyways, right now, we're going to go after the center diff. So I've never taken a center diff out of this thing before. This is my first Team Corrali, so, yeah. Let's just see what it takes. All right. Now, it is going to be interesting what kind of diff fluid that this has in it. Again, never taken one of these apart before. I'm not sure exactly how to get to that. So it looks like this brace top thing comes off. There's two screws. One there, which drive down to get that. So I'm going to use my driver. To get down into these screws right here. Oop. Pretty long screws. Holy crap. Look how long that thing was. Be there all day doing it by hand. See how long that thing is. Holy moly. Alright. Two on the back. Oh. So that's where this driver is becoming junk. Do not want to strip brand new screws. So. Ooh. These are tight. Uh-oh. Alright, got it. It's what's nice about these drivers from Hobao, because they're long. They give almost like a torque stick kind of feel. And these ones are obviously way shorter. The thread lock is down towards the very bottom, so you want to keep that in mind. Possibly re-thread lock these. So if you're going to heat it up, obviously you know you can heat it up down there. And that's what I think I might do right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab heat, and I'm just going to touch that section right there. This is where this little mini torch comes in. Now heat it down low. To hopefully not get plastic. Yep, here we go. So I'd be careful with those screws, man. Hopefully this is how you're even supposed to take this out. Alright, so that little tower thing comes off. Short screws. Got 2 more screws right there. Real short screws. Okay, so it looks like that's just going to pop right out. Yep. So you've got a front section that comes off, and it looks like a rear centerpiece that'll come up all as one unit. This looks like a Hobao differential. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Is it going to allow me to bring it up? Almost seems like it's stuck. Huh. It's kind of interesting. So maybe taking off or loosening the screw underneath here will allow me to be able to slide that differential out of there better. Maybe. I don't know. Pocket. It's like So there are 2 screws on the bottom right here. So right there and right there. I'm going to go after those. Oh, stupid servo thing. So 1, 2. Trying to make it so I am out of the way. You can see what's going on. There is a 3rd screw up top there, or forward. So I'm not sure what that is. Pretty slick looking chassis though. Alright. So yeah. Those 2 screws. See if that was enough. And yes, it was. All right. So now let's see if this pops out. A little bit more ease, maybe. And again. Nope. Okay. I don't think I like that, because I'll end up bending the drive shafts to get that out. So what I was thinking was I'd get more like room to like angle or something. And that ain't happening. So the diff isn't as serviceable as I was hoping. So this one probably could have stayed in place by the way it looks. Yeah, I'm going to end up bending the drive shafts doing that. All right. So that means fire on those screws, because most likely, yeah, I don't want to chance. I don't want to chance that. So I'm going to fire up that, look at the carbon fibers right up against it too. Oh man. All right. I'm going to heat up those screws. I'm going to get my bigger blowtorch. All right, I'm back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take fire. It's the only way I can see that that diff comes out without like mangling and taking out other stuff. I don't want to have to do that much work. I mean, I suppose I could probably take out the rear diff and slide that out, but I'm going to go ahead and heat these up and we're going to see what happens. So what I'm doing is I'm heating up the very center of the bolt. We'll see if that was enough. And yep, got that one. If I use a driver, probably come out a little bit faster there, guy. So definitely plenty of thread lock in there, which worked out great. It's a rather short screw too, man. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up that one. Get it right on that little center. Hopefully that's enough and I'm not like burning out the carbon fiber. There we go. Alright, so that was enough. So not a very intuitive way, I guess, to kind of get the differential out. It kind of seems like a little bit of a pain in the neck. And to make sure I remember that these longer screws went for the plastic, these shorter screws went for the metal. All right, bring that back down. And I'm not seeing any other way to get this diff out, so who knows? Maybe there is a different way. Maybe there's something that's quicker that I'm just missing, but I didn't see anything. This does remind me of a Hobao this way. So rotate that, get that out of there, and then now, yeah, now I can get that off. So, okay. So I do want to take this piece and I want to put this piece back. Hopefully it went that way. Crap. I think that's the way it went. Like this. Let's see. Yeah, I think. No. Go that way? Yeah. Alright, so it went that way. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this little tower thing back in there, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Not even sure. So that dog bone's in there. So I might as well measure the dog bone while we're here, right? So rear dog bone comes in at a thickness of 5. Front dog bone, 4. So front dog bone is 4. Rear dog bone is 5. And that should go that way. Like I said, not a very intuitive way to get that diff out of there, but this does look like a Hobao piece. You want to know why I'm saying that? Okay. This is why. I'm going to show you something. This right here is the differential for a higher performance Hobao vehicle. Okay. It's the only reason why I said that it looks similar is because, doesn't that look pretty similar? It looks like that potentially could be a drop-in replacement. Now this is called the spider gear. So this spider gear actually has 6 planetary gears, or not planetary. This has 6 spider gears, where this one's only going to have 4. Much smaller spur gear on this one. So the wonderment is, would this literally fit into there? So right off, cup size is different. So the cup size on this is way different. So cup size on the Hobao comes in at, on its widest point, which I can just go flat to flat. I think it's 14. 14. Cup size of this is what, 12? 13. That much of a difference. So, just kind of has like that similar look. And I mean, size-wise, it looks like it's a fit, man. So, not that that matters, not that that's something I'm doing, but there was that curiosity. So, it's funny how this is encased in plastic. You know? And it goes this way, guy. Okay. Actually, it goes this way, guy. The spider definitely does not fit because it's just that touch over. Dang. It would have been funny to go ahead and get a... I might still be able to do it, though. All I'd have to do is just sand out that little step. Just widen it by 1 millimeter overall. So... let's break open into this anyway. That's what we're here for. See what this thing's about. Alright, that's a one big huge piece of gear right there. Oh. I just stripped out the stupid fastener. Hopefully I didn't strip out this. Nope. Stripped out the not the screw, I stripped out the thing there. It's too much torque. Let's see. Almost feels like I should heat those up. There is thread lock on there. That is tight. So I gotta be careful with these little bad boys. Almost should put on a welding glove, because that heat is going to transfer to my hand. Yeah, it's warm. There we go. Ooh, that gear's hot. So definitely heat up these fasteners, that's for sure, to go ahead and go after this differential. And definitely wear a glove, welding glove. I'm gonna grab, alright, not really a welding glove, but close enough. It's gonna dissipate the heat from my hand. Heat up that last one. Let me get this one nice and hot. Yeah, that's perfect. You definitely feel there's some warmth to this thing. So putting this thing back together, obviously we'll be using thread lock. It's alright. It's a little hot. So there we go. Woo! Hot stuff, man. Alright. So there we go. So there's your look inside that center diff. Fluid that's in there. Let's see. So the fluid that's in there, granted it is a little warm. Probably 500. And that is really not sufficiently lubed for what I like to see for such a, you know, wide open space. So for that, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to throw 1 million in there. Sorry, 20 million. Am I saying million? So, James George. This is James George 20 mil. Thank you, guy. Definitely appreciated that. All right. So I'm going to scoop out some of this earplug. Hopefully, it's going to take some time, so I'm just going to shut this off and I'm going to do a couple things while that thing is 20 mil is setting in there. You can use heat to kind of warm it up, but this is a little warm anyway, so that should help. So I'll be back while this thing is marinating. Unless you want a time lapse. You want to time lapse that? I don't think so. All right, so we're back. Didn't really settle down much, so I'm just going to jam it together. I just want to make sure the alignment is good. When I flop this thing over, I want this to be like a one and done kind of situation here. So, and looks like it's off. There we go, I think. Oh. So it doesn't like go into grooves here. All right. Let's see what we're looking at. Got one there, one there, one there, and one there. So seems like that's pretty good. I am not going to use thread lock to put this back together. I'm just going to put it together. I will obviously be cleaning off whatever has squeezed out. I think this one hydraulically locked. Yeah, feels like it did. Either that or it's just the fluid. So like I said, I'm not gonna put thread lock on those. I'm just gonna leave them as is, but I am gonna torque them down. And I'll obviously wipe off the excess fluid. So, got some excess fluid here. So it looks like it squeezed out some of the original, which is fine. And I'm just going to put it right back into the 20 ml jar because this stuff is very valuable. And I think we're good, man. All right. So now I can go ahead and reinstall this back into its little place right here. And I don't know if I can I install this way? Might be able to. So this front one has no room, man. Oh my goodness. All right, drop down. Yeah. So that front one is kind of a pain in the neck. So this is not really a very intuitive way here. For this. So it seems as though might have to put in the front first. See if that works. Front first, then toss in the rear. So that seemed to work. Not a very intuitive way, not a very easy way to go ahead and get to that that diff. So, and then obviously now I'm going to have to hold it in place. Make sure we're lined up on the screws. On this, it had the shorter screws for here, which I will actually thread lock those. So I had shorter screws for that. Longer screws for the front, don't need any thread lock. So just put a little dab on there. Get that into its place. And make sure it's forward. dab on this one. Damn. Give it just a little tweak. Yeah, definitely tight enough. Now I'll go after this front. So now we've got that piece is in place. We can go ahead and put in this piece. Make sure that that's kind of locked in. There was a little bit of thread lock on these, so I will just give them another touch. Just a tiny little drop, like that. And what I'll do is I'll share it with the other screw, just like that. Does this piece go on first? Yes. Okay. So I gotta put these small screws in first. That one. That one. Then put this brace in like that. Then the thread locked screws. There. There. And these might not even need to be thread locked. I don't know. They are, but we're just holding down plastic, so. And then the ultra long screws. Look how massive these things are. I'm going to use a driver to put that in. Long these are. They literally seem like they are threaded all the way. Look at that. Holy smokes. Let's give it a little extra torque. Again, this is just plastic. Not a big deal. Yep. Nice. All right. I think that's good enough. I was going to break into the shocks, but yeah, I think I'm just going to leave the shocks alone, to be quite honest with you. All right, so that was the big ordeal with checking out. The center diff was obviously the one that's not very intuitively installed. I think they probably could have done something a little bit better, but maybe that's the give and take. It's the give and take of how the bracing is, and maybe there's a positive to that. It is only just taking out a couple extra screws. I really shouldn't be complaining. I've never been there before with that. We did find out, or I did notice, that it's very similar to the Hobao spider diff, which the spider diff is a six spider gear setup, where this one's obviously just a 4. Front differential, we did fill it up with 100K. Rear differential, we filled it up with 500K. And then the center diff, I went ahead and put a nice blob of 20 million in there, thanks to James George. So anyways, I'm not out. Well, actually, I am out. I'm going to get out to the backyard track. I've got a ton more work to do out back there so that I can take this thing and rip it. So anyways, if you like episodes like this from Marston Guy Garage, we are literally just working on the Team Corrali KRONOS XTR roller that just came out. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.
Why am I using a heat gun on my trigger?